Previously on The Lost Art.
So, Professor.
According to Zarek, this place was the hub of the coordinate system, but this is something much bigger. We really need to get Thomas Maxwell from CERN here.
There's something about this place. I agree, it's not like the team neighborhood. Lucas, can we keep it a secret for a while?
Like old times. Having a place no one else knows about.
The woman who lived here was the first human to learn the Dunny art of writing.
Did any of the DRC...
You don't just sit down with any old pen and paper.
Today, I make my first link to another age. The day I have dreamt about for so long. But I can't help but feel nervous. Meanwhile, the team has decided to move beyond simply looking for linking books. They want to start exploring the possibilities of the art itself. I think that too is making me anxious.
And I explained the Aliaverse theory to Henry, that all possible outcomes of subatomic interactions exist in parallel universes and matter and energy
Can potentially travel between them. So you're thinking that the Dunny must have found an actual practical application? A way to transport matter between universes?
Exactly. So what we need to do is discover how they did it just by writing stuff in a book. You do realize what this means?
If we do work it out...
We could see the beginning of a new era.
The book
The
age!
era of writing.
Dunny. Cavern city of ruined beauty, wonder, secrets. The Dunny people possessed a remarkable art, the power to create portals to other worlds. They have long since moved on, yet their city remains, and so do their mysteries. The cavern has been sealed for years, yet now there are some who think it might hold a solution. We're desperate, so we're going back. We're returning, descending to the deep in search of the lost art.
Are you ready for this?
I've only waited 30-some years, Morgan.
Well, at least we know it's safe and you're not likely to get lost.
You mean the way you did?
If you remember to bring any sunglasses, you'll probably want to put them on. With any luck, it's going to be sunny.
Does it hurt?
Hurt? No, not at all. It feels weird, but it's over before you know it.
I thought he said casual clothes.
That's as casual as the Colonel gets.
So it's just Alex and Thomas.
They thought we were meeting on the roof. They'll be here soon. I'm pretty sure this place is called Eder Sogal. Eder is a Dunny word meaning rest.
Well, the rest of us are still missing. And where is Zarek?
Personal Journal, record, 23rd of September 2040. With Lieutenant Larsen's discovery of this conference room, I've asked her to change the time and place of the meeting. Lieutenant Pope has configured the screen for my presentation, and as Grace has volunteered to serve as my audience, I'm using the extra time to practice. I have to say right at the start that we don't have much to go on in the archives. Although these images are sepia, we think they might be stained glass panels showing what appear to be depictions of the bookmaking process. Please, Lieutenant, the others will be here soon and I need to make sure this makes sense. If you just save your questions.
And in the plus column,
My team and I have figured out how to get the factory on your con up and running. It should be operational within the week.
at which point Lucas will take charge.
Now that I've sorted out the boat problem, more or less.
Boat problem? Did something happen to the inflatables?
No, he's talking about the big Dunny ferries. I think, counting the one that brought us across the lake, we've got 5 working now. It's a pity these things don't work across ages.
Do you want me to link back?
Yes, please. Don't go looking for them, just call and see what's going on.
The archives also held some images that we thought were old photographs, but it seems more likely they were made using some kind of Dunny imaging technology. These are the machines that appeared in the panels we think were stained glass. It seems clear that one is just a basic pulping machine, the other is some kind of industrial boiler. Grace!
Morgan?
I just wanted to say that I've been exploring some buildings. They seem to have what might be guild markings on them.
The pubs! That's what the DRC called them. The Guild of Messengers pub, the Writers pub.
Oh, I wonder if that's where we were.
There was a pen symbol on the floor.
That's the one.
So that's what you two were doing.
We weren't drinking, if that's what you're suggesting.
More like getting high on physics talk. I don't suppose you had any breakthroughs?
Oh, we are getting there.
Well, if you were in the headquarters of the Guild of Writers, did you find any materials?
Apart from some emblems on the drapery.
So, nothing useful like the art of writing for dummy dummies?
And not to be a smart aleck, but those buildings weren't the headquarters of the guilds. They were just used by them.
The Dunny art of writing didn't just require special ink and a particular type of paper. The foundation of the art was a very specific type of word known as a garohev, a great word. These words had the power in the hands of one skilled in the art to actually command that the world being linked to would be configured in a certain way. And because these garohev-t, that's the plural by the way, because these garohev-t were so potent, they were kept in a volume known as Rehevkor, or the Book of Words. Now these seem to be objects found in a bookmaking lab. What kind of books? I mean, were they linking books or descriptive or...
There you are. What did you think you were doing?
Well, now that you're listening, the messages you had me send haven't been opened. The team had already left the cavern when I wrote them about the meeting change.
Now that we seem to have lost Lucas as well, I think we should call the meeting to a close. And whose bright idea was it to have this meeting in a swamp?
I can't understand why I wasn't allowed to come here.
How old were you?
17. My parents were very protective.
Well, you're here now. Listen guys, what do we think is actually possible at this point?
Well, as you probably know, Zarek was going to talk about the distinction between descriptive books and linking books.
You mean the books that actually conjured a world?
Well, not exactly. As far as we understand it, these books create links to one possible version of a world. The world as described in that book.
Hence descriptive.
But we've already ruled out the possibility of there being a descriptive book for Earth.
No, you mean of finding it. Someone told me that the Dunny treasured the Earth book. Their descendants probably have it locked in some vault.
In any case, tampering with the Earth's descriptive book would be a bad idea.
Oh, a very bad idea.
So what?
Well, we were thinking, let's try some minor modification of another world.
For that, you'll need Rehevkor, the Book of Words. As I'm sure that was going to be part of Zarek's talk, I'll let him explain to you. In any case, you'll still need to find a descriptive book.
Any ideas?
You know, there's a building by the plaza back on the island. The DRC used it as their headquarters, and I think they kept a collection of books there. Why don't I check that out?
Sounds like a plan. If you find anything, give me a shout.
You look tired, Thomas. You should probably get some sleep.
Katya, where are you?
In that place I was telling you about.
Look for something that is bigger than a linking book, but that still has a linking panel.
And it goes without saying.
Don't touch the damn panel.
I can't help feeling that something else is going on here. First, there's our dreams. I mean, flying dreams, great, what's not to like? But you were unsettled by it. And then that strange image down in the plaza. And you said it felt different in that room. Could we?
What?
Could we be getting messages? Lucas, could there be something inside the egg?
What, like living there? Morgan, what could possibly...
I know. It makes no sense whatsoever. But these feelings, they're so strong. And they aren't mine. Do you think we need to tell the others?
Probably. But I'm not ready yet to give up our refuge. I've just had a message from Gabe. They want us to join them and bring Thomas.
Can't they just call him?
He must have switched his wrist device to Do Not Disturb, but he's not in the bunk room. He's on the roof near the plaza.
Oh, poor guy. Can't we just leave him?
Are you okay?
I just had the weirdest dream. I was in this blue room where there was something that looked like an egg. It was a nightmare. Not so much what was happening, but this terrible feeling of being trapped. Horrible. Don't worry, I'll shake it off. It was just a dream.
There's something you need to see.
Gabe's waiting for us.
Make up an excuse. I know, call Zarek.
What for?
He can be our excuse.
I have a feeling I'm still dreaming.
Where the hell are they?
Well, according to this, they are in an inflatable halfway to the other side of the cavern, and it seems Thomas is with them.
And now Zarek is heading there as well. For crying out loud, doesn't anyone know how to fall in order?
Where were you?
Where were you?
Forget about that, you two. This is more important. The Colonel is here. I'll go show him the way.
What exactly are we doing here?
We might as well wait until Gabe gets here. No point in being told we're crazy twice.
You guys better have a really good excuse.
The others are already in there.
What do you think is keeping it suspended?
Probably that beam. I really need to have a closer look. And that would mean removing this glass.
Lapahi!
Ah!
And what are you doing here?
That's what I want to know.
Look, Colonel.
You're going to think we're crazy.
But we think there's something inside that statue.
And it's trying to communicate.
You're right. I do think you're crazy.
It's uncanny, really. It was exactly like that in my... And I'm walking.
Ferguson?
Sir, I found something you need to see. A book. It doesn't have a linking panel, but it's filled with both symbols and Dunny writing. I'm pretty sure this is important.
Okay, look, I'm sending you... Can you bring it to these coordinates? I'll meet you there.
Right away, sir.
Well, it looks like we're both about the same distance from the island. I'll see you in a couple of hours. At least one person knows how to follow an order.
Listen, you need to hear about the dreams we've been having.
I don't have time for dreams.
I'm telling you, there's something in that egg. I have this feeling every time I
have a feeling my head is going to explode. Right now isn't the time. Airman Ferguson has found something that might actually be useful. At least more than a fantasy of an alien in an egg.
Now that I've found what we've been looking for, I'm wondering whether this isn't folly. Can we really be so arrogant to think we can tamper with another world?
Yeah, I felt it as well. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Anyway, I think I found a descriptive book, and from the look of the image, it's the age you visited, Teledon. I think I found the descriptive book for Teledon.
You're probably not going to believe this, but one of the security officers found something as well. A book that's not a linking book, but seems to have both Dunny words and those symbols we've seen in linking books. Might be some kind of art of writing dictionary.
Rehevcore? No, I don't believe it. Really?
Well, whatever it is, we'll need your help to decipher it. How about we meet at the pub? We can talk over lunch.
I've done my best, Colonel. I'm going to take my notes to Thomas and Alex.
Sounds good. Thanks.
So, are you making progress with this rehearsal thing?
It's called Rehevcore, the Book of Words. Katja told us it's a kind of master dictionary for the special language used for writing.
Actually, what Airman Ferguson found was not the Rehevcore, but something that appears to be a school book. That Dunny for Dummies book that Henry was hoping for the other day.
Although, to be precise, it isn't actually a Dunny textbook, which, strictly speaking, would be a book about the Dunny language.
And using this, not quite the Book of Words, you could write your own ages?
Technically, yes. Very, very simple ones. It was meant to teach aspiring writers their first lessons at school.
Basically, it tells you how to write your Hello World age.
Your hello what?
Moving along. There are templates in this book that create islands and mountains and simple, natural and Dunny-made features of different shapes and sizes.
It relates art words to Dunny, Colonel, and now, thanks to Katja, to English. We are hoping to find those templates in the Teledon book and modify them.
Right, but I still don't understand why we're trying to modify Teledon.
Well, it's the only descriptive book we have available, and testing our ideas on a working book will be the safest way to make progress.
Right. That makes sense. So, using the Art 101 book and Katya's translation, we can make a change in the descriptive book and it will link us to another version of Teledon?
That's the theory.
Good. So what exactly are you going to change? What about removing that sun that gave you so much trouble?
No, that would be too drastic of a change. We were thinking of making a small and hopefully harmless addition. One that can be easily reversed, but at the same time would be quite noticeable.
Right. So what do you suggest?
Let's try adding... Oh wait, there's something here called an observation sphere. It seems a fairly rudimentary structure.
And to put it right again?
Well, that's what the delete symbol is for. Before computers, people had to use something called whiteout to correct a text. Apparently the dunny scribbled the numeral for 0 over whatever word they wanted to delete.
So that's how we'll reverse it. Alright, maybe our guest from CERN should have the honor.
You don't have to ask me twice. Where's that bottle of ink? Yes!
Wow, es hat geklappt!
Don't get too excited, boys. We still have to see if we can put it right.
Welcome to the age of writing!
Oh, Morgan. I'm going to call a ferry.
I'm sure it's not me, these waves of sorrow. At least you believe me, and that means more than... Lucas? What is it?
Our ride. One of the ferry pilots says he can take us. He's on his way back to the island to pick up Sarek.
Where's Sarek going in the middle of the night?
Who knows, but we've got to hurry.
On the